ऐसी खुशी जो कहीं मिलती नहीं, हमको मिली ऐसी खुशी जो कहीं मिलती नहीं। फूल है या ये कली हर बाग में खिलती नहीं, हमको मिली ऐसी खुशी जो कहीं मिलती नहीं, हमको मिली। जब ये रंग है जगमगाए ज्योति बिंदु, वो तो अपने संग है। रात दिन अब ये नजर उनसे जरा हटती नहीं, रात दिन अब ये नजर उनसे जरा हटती नहीं, हमको मिली ऐसी खुशी जो कहीं मिलती नहीं, हमको मिली। जाएगी गम की आए आंधियां तो भी ये मुस्काएगी, है अमर अपनी खुशी जिसकी उम्र ढलती नहीं, है अमर अपनी खुशी जिसकी उम्र ढलती नहीं, हमको मिली ऐसी खुशी जो कहीं मिलती नहीं, हमको मिली। हमको कोई गम नहीं है, अनोखी ये खुशी जो मिली ये कम नहीं, और अब क्या चाहिए गाते जुबां थकती नहीं, और अब क्या चाहिए गाते जुबां थकती नहीं। हमको मिली ऐसी खुशी जो कहीं मिलती नहीं। हमको मिली ऐसी खुशी जो कहीं मिलती नहीं। फूल है या ये कली हर बाग में खिलती नहीं। हमको मिली ऐसी खुशी जो कहीं मिलती नहीं। हमको मिली ऐसी खुशी जो कहीं मिलती नहीं। हमको मिली।
Om Shanti, everyone, and warm welcome to our dear Shreya. So today we have privilege of Shreya being with us. Before I hand it over to her, let me briefly introduce Shreya. She has been associated with Brahma Kumaris since over 12 years, and she's a faculty member of Brahma Kumaris. She has been actively involved in conducting spiritual seminars and workshops across India, and I'm sure many of you must have seen her and listened to her and got her to contribute you with her jewels. She has been featured on numerous talk shows on the Peace of Mind channel and YouTube, focusing on value education, life skills, and the practice of meditation. She is a graduate in English literature from Hansraj College, Delhi University, and a postgraduate in ethics and spirituality. Shreya has also worked as a web reporter for NDTV for the time 2008-2009. And today, what Shreya is going to share with us, the song that she chose to play, Humko Mili Aisi Khushi, jo kahin milti nahi. And that is what she's going to tell us. No matter what the times are, how challenging the times may be, but how to be a free, joyful soul anytime, every time, and at all times. Welcome, Shreya. Over to you.
Om Shanti. Thank you, brother. And a very good morning to everybody. Om Shanti. In past and latest Murlis, if you have been noticing that Baba is also expecting that from us. You know, Baba wants us to be joyful at all times. If you remember last Sunday's Murli, Baba is saying that Sangam Yug, for you, each day is like a festival. Baba wants us to celebrate, be happy, be joyful, not even have the burden of seva, not even have burden of maya, to see everything as a game and just enjoy. And for me, you know, sometimes when I listen to Baba, Baba just does not like children to make any kind of effort or to feel the burden or to feel any kind of pressure. And he would repeatedly say that, you know, give all your pressures to me, give all your burdens to me. And at the same time, we are on a journey where we have to settle the karmic account of 63 births. It's not one birth, it's a settling at a grand scale. And at the same time, we are transforming sanskars, which is not just of one birth, but it is of something which is 63 births again and very, very deep rooted. And so we have stepped onto this journey on this very, very high quest to become a deity, to transform ourselves. And we've allowed Baba to work on us. A lot that will come out at the level of mansa, at the level of vacha, at the level of karmana. But at the same time, Baba is saying, I want each child to be joyful, to enjoy the journey. And that's very, very important for us in Sangam Yoga. Very important that we enjoy every day. I remember this one time Charlie Bhai was sharing that he asked Jagdish Bhai. We all know both the brothers, Charlie Bhai, who takes care of all the services in Australia and around the world, and Jagdish Bhai, the senior brother of the Yage. And he had asked Jagdish Bhai that what is one thing you think is very, very important in Brahman life? And Jagdish Bhai said that it's very important for every Brahmin to have a new experience daily. It's the experiences with Baba, with knowledge. These experiences are the ones which sustain us every day because it's a long journey and it's a journey of transformation. And, to be joyful all time, every time, one of the most essential practice is of the soul consciousness. Is what I personally believe. Definitely, our day should begin with Baba. When we take out that time in the morning at Amrit Vela, when we sit in silence, because see what happens now, we're not dependent on limited attainments because it's about being happy all the time. And when we are, aiming at being happy all the time, we can't be dependent on anything which is external. So our all attainments have to come from Baba. One, but none. And if we miss that appointment in the morning, that appointment, that Amrit Vela time, if we miss that and we don't fill ourselves with all that attainment, with that unconditional love, where Baba sees you as the most extraordinary soul, just sitting in front of Baba, letting Baba's drishti heal you, because Baba looks at you as an eternal soul, as a pure soul, not as an ordinary soul, but as a great soul. And when you let that drishti fall on you, and when you allow yourself to experience God's love, when you surrender yourself to God and allow Him to love you unconditionally, to accept you, to respect you, to massage you, like you were saying last Sunday, to massage you, to take away all your tiredness, and to just to be with Baba for some time, that appointment, if you miss in the morning, Baba in one Murli said that there's going to be disappointment in the day because we have to take attainments from Baba for us to be joyful through the day. And it's about being joyful. It's not about doing. So for half a kalpa, from Dwapar till now, we've always taken our attainment, our joy, our happiness from doing something. So even though we're human being, from being we had become doing. So every time we acquire something, we achieve something, or we're looking for some kind of acknowledgement, validation, appreciation, anything from outside to feel good. And now we shift not from outside in, but from inside out. Now the journey is all about being joyful and doing something because, in the world, they say this a lot. It's all about, finding what you like, finding your passions, finding what you love, finding that role which makes you really happy. But when you come to Baba, and otherwise also, you realize in the world that it's not very practical. It's not practical to always, find what you love. And sometimes, even if you find what you love, the circumstances may not allow you. The circumstances might be that you have to play a different role. You would want to play a particular role, like I was just reading a lot of articles a couple of days back, how people's life dramatically changed in COVID. They had dreams, they had desires, they had plans, but because of COVID, the situation has dramatically changed. Somebody has died in their home, the only earning member has died. So children who are 15 years, 17 years, who had desires to become an engineer, to become a doctor, have now taken up the role of earning for the family because they're the only breadwinners now. So they're selling tea, they're doing everything. What I'm trying to say is that it's not always possible to do what you love, always find that role. But what Baba says, no matter what the role is, no matter what the role is, it's essential that you play each role with a lot of joy. And this is one of the practice that I have really enjoyed, and it has also liberated me to a great extent that we're not dependent on what we are doing. And this is something that each one of us have to reflect, that am I comfortable playing any role and experience the same level of joy, whether I'm cleaning the house, whether I am standing in the kitchen and probably just cutting tomatoes, whether I'm cooking, whether I'm talking to people, whether I'm listening, whether I am a mother, whether I'm working at an office, my level of joy, is it same? Is it when I do something and feel good? Or is it that I'm feeling good, I am brimming with joy, and whatever I do, I radiate that joy and happiness into everything I do? And that's such a beautiful practice, because then what will happen? That one line, which is very beautiful, which Baba says in the Murli, that even the ordinary task to people will look like great task. Sadharan karam bhi mahan lagenge. And that is what people will have vision of, when Baba says they will have a vision, it's not always about, seeing that vision where their intellect is not in their control. But this is also a vision when they see somebody and they see them doing something very ordinary. They see them just cleaning the house or gardening or cleaning anything in the kitchen, something very, very basic, something very, very simple. But because that soul is in a soul conscious stage, is in the awareness that I am being of love, I am being of happiness, I am joy, then that joy radiates from your face, from your every action. And that is a very big seva, I feel. That's a very, very big seva. And that's what Adadis and Brahma Baba did for a very, very long time. In the initial 14 years of Yajna, there wasn't any seva, external seva much, where everybody was going and talking to people. In fact, Adadis didn't even know that a time would come when they would travel the world and would be sharing this knowledge with other people. So for them, when they heard the word service, it was mostly about, karmana seva, doing everything. But in the last couple of Murlis also, Baba was saying that Baba taught them to do everything. Uh, Everything from the work of a cobbler to a work of a gardener to a work of everything, every single thing. But at the same time, if you look at Brahma Baba also, and if you listen to some of the stories of Yajna, there were times where Brahma Baba would be doing very ordinary tasks. I remember Kunja Dadi once sharing that she was giving a course to someone, and in those days, Brahma Baba would only meet the soul after 7 days, after the course has been over. And Kunj Dadi, who was conducting the course, had been telling that soul, that particular soul, that Shiv Baba comes through, is teaching us through Brahma Baba. He and that's what she's been telling that particular soul who had come to do the course every single day that Shiv Baba has taken this chariot. This chariot is very great. This chariot has become the instrument for Shiv Baba to come and give the knowledge to us. And on the seventh day, she comes to Baba and Brahma Baba, and Baba is doing the very ordinary task of cleaning the grains. And she's telling Baba, Baba, that particular soul wants to meet you. It's the seventh day, and I've been telling that soul that you're going to meet this person on the seventh day. And Baba said, yes, yes, let the soul come. I'll meet him. And she looks at Baba sitting very ordinary, just wearing very, very ordinary clothes. Otherwise, Baba would go to a chamber and Baba would wrap around a shawl and meet a little more officially. And she's expecting Baba to get up and go to the chamber and meet this particular soul officially. So again, she tells Baba, a little like a nudge, Baba, aren't you coming? Aren't you coming to the chamber? And Baba's like, no, child, let the soul who has done the course come and meet me here. And she is a little confused because she has built up this picture in front of the soul who has come for the course, that this is the chariot of God. This is a very important soul. Brahma Baba, has said all great things about him. And she's like, Baba, when he sees you doing this ordinary task of cleaning grains, what will he think? And what will we think that, all the sisters, allow you to do such ordinary tasks? And Brahma Baba is all smiling and saying that Kunj Dadi is having the ego that my Baba my mighty Baba is doing something so ordinary. But Baba also was adamant, and Baba said, if you want me to meet that soul, I'm going to meet him here. Now it's your choice whether you want to bring the soul or not. And then the story is like that, the soul also wants to meet Brahma Baba the very day, and then he comes, and the moment he sees Brahma Baba, he has a vision. The very moment the soul experiences bodiless stage and has a vision. And that's when Kunjtadi realizes and says that, even though Brahma Baba was doing the most ordinary task, Baba was always so soul conscious, was always connected to Baba, was always in such an elevated stage that so many people would just look at Baba and would fly and have an experience of bodiless stage. And that's what I feel is very, very essential, this practice of doing everything, but in a very joyful manner. And that does a lot of seva, because people want to see today more than they want to hear. They want to see that. And when they see somebody, doing everything with a lot of contentment, it's not when I finish, because so many times we've all experienced that when we finish something, we feel a sense of relief. We're like, okay, now it's done. Now I'm relaxed. Now I'm comfortable. But it's more important about doing that comfortably, doing that with a lot of contentment, and at the same time, not doing it with a lot of speed, but there's a beautiful rhythm to what you're doing. It just, when somebody looks at you also, they just enjoy seeing you do that little task. And it could be as simple as walking. I remember a lot of us, when we used to go to Madhuban, we used to just enjoy seeing dadis walk. And it's something so ordinary, but we enjoyed just seeing dadis holding each other's hand and just walking from one end to another. And even those scenes are etched in our minds, because there was something so beautiful, so extraordinary about it. So that is one thing which I believe, this essential practice of soul consciousness, where early in the morning I bring myself into the awareness that who I am, and now that being stage is being reflected in every single task. And this one time that Baba said that you don't have to do something great, you just have to make something ordinary look great, and that will only happen when internally you feel very good. That's one thing, to feel joyful through the day. The second, which I think, which uh, becomes the reason why we lose our happiness through the day, is the other practice that we need to be very, very aware is that through the day, the whole attention is on the self. When Baba says, spin the discus of self realization, Swadarshan Chak, we have to take this practice very, very seriously, because so many times it's the habit of half a kalpa, where we've been looking outside and at other people. And when these eyes are looking at other people, there's a lot of expectations, there's a lot of judgment, there's a lot of criticism, and the mind is always looking at them. And it becomes even more risky when you have so much knowledge, but you haven't learned the art of becoming introvert, antarmukhi. So your intellect is filled with knowledge. Now you know what is right and what is wrong. But because you haven't practiced being introvert, you start using that knowledge on everybody else, because you know what is right and you know what is wrong. And through the day, you look at people from from the lens of that knowledge, but you're not looking at yourself. You're looking at other people, and we can become very, very judgmental. We can look at people's mistakes, and through the day, we can be, this is not right, this is not wrong. And it's very important that Baba has said that Baba has not allowed you to become judge of anybody. Baba only wants you to become your own judge, and judge your own thoughts, your feelings, your words and actions, but not judge anybody else. And this is another thing that we really, really need to practice, is soul conscious vision. And it's beautiful how Baba looks at us. It's amazing. Any Avyakt Murli that you pick up, any Murli, the first half page is how Baba looks at us. And sometimes it would be, I see the souls who are very fortunate. Sometimes it would be, I see the souls who are very obedient. Sometimes it would be, I see the, the jewels, the special jewels. So we're not perfect. We have so many blemishes, so many flaws. There's so much to transform. But Baba doesn't see that. When Baba's vision fall on us, it falls on our purest self, the true self, the original self. And that's what Baba wants us to practice, that when you see the souls, because see, when we interact with people, especially the Brahmin family, I sometimes feel that a lot of people have a lot of expectations from the Brahmin family. And actually, that's not very right, because we don't have so many expectations from the outside world, because we think they have no knowledge. So we're more accepting towards them. We respect them more. That there aren't much expectations. We think we have to give to them. But when it comes to a soul who is a Brahmin, who has taken knowledge, who's listening to Murli every day, we tend to have a lot of expectations. When we go to center and we meet people, or we meet sisters, or we meet somebody who's been on journey for a long time, we think they're going to be angels and they're going to be all nice. But we forget that it's their last birth. We forget that soul also, when started the journey, was basically completely depleted, and have, had the courage to step onto this highest journey. It's the highest journey. It's the journey where we're not complaining, we're not blaming, we're taking the complete responsibility of what I feel, what I think, my actions, what's happening with me, the consequences, everything. Our lives have no place for any kind of complaint and blame now. It's just complete personal responsibility. So we've really stepped onto a very high journey. But at the same time, this expectation from other people, I don't think is right. It's more about understanding that these souls are also in their last birth and are really making a lot of effort. And so many times we have no idea what people have gone through in their journey, one, and we have no idea where they started from. So we could be like, okay, you have been in Gyan for 20 years, but we don't see much transformation. But you have no idea where they started from. Maybe they were in depression when they stepped onto their journey. And they, according to themselves, may have come a long way. But because we can't see that and we expect something, and it can create a lot of upheaval in here. And that is why Baba says, have a soul conscious vision. Drishti. Drishti is dekhne ka tarika. So when I look at people, am I looking at their original sanskar, or am I looking at their acquired sanskar? We have to always remember that, when we see the soul, there are two sanskars. One, which Baba sees, pure, eternal, that soul which is pure, joyful, happy, just like me, without any blemish, without any flaw, but in the journey has acquired some sanskars. And their acquired sanskars may be giving some sorrow, but they're acquired. And I have to help them, heal them, so that they can transform. I cannot hold on to their old sanskars, because if I hold on to their weaknesses, and this happens, through the day, we're looking at people, we see their weaknesses, we hold it in our memory track, and they will transform after a while. But we, because we are the one who are holding on, we, become weaker and weaker, and our soul power depletes. So in my memory track, in my mind, in my intellect, there is no space for anybody's weakness. There is only and only compassion. Because for the Brahmin souls, you don't even have to share knowledge with them. They know everything. The biggest support, the biggest cooperation that we can give to the family is not holding on to their weakness. It's the biggest support. When you hold on to somebody's weakness, the vibration that you create radiates to them and disempowers them. So when we only have good wishes for the soul, a lot of compassion for people, it's not that we can't see their faults. I always remember this drill, and it's something which has helped me a lot. In one of the drill, Baba said, in Hindi it goes like, "Sahi ko sahi samajhna hai, गलत को गलत समझना है, समझो भले, लेकिन वृत्ति में नहीं बिठाओ. Which means you are a knowledgeful soul. So when you see somebody's weakness, you will understand that this is right and this is wrong. You can understand because you're a knowledgeful soul. But don't let it become part of your intellect, because that's going to then transform your attitude. And it's like when I see, for example, I see somebody getting angry, I see somebody being rude. So I am a knowledgeful soul. I understand anger is wrong, but I don't come to a conclusion that the person is wrong. The whole day we have to kind of detach the actor from the action. And we know that the action is wrong. We're aware, we're knowledgeful, but at the same time, I don't hold on to their action in my intellect, and my intellect continues to radiate good wishes to the actor, to the actor. And only when I'm radiating that good wishes to the actor will the actor be empowered to transform themselves. And this is a practice which is very, very liberating, because Baba in one of the Murdis said that if you're really, really soul conscious, then you will only experience two feelings: joy or compassion. When somebody is in a very elevated stage, what you receive from them is going to bring a lot of joy to you, a lot of happiness to you. But if you come across a soul who is weak and is under the influence of body consciousness, and you can see them under the influence of an old sanskar, then you only have compassion for them. There's just two feelings, either a lot of joy or a lot of compassion. But we can't let people's weaknesses create havoc here. And that is why the practice of being detached and loving. It's a very important practice. Detach, you're not detached from the person, but you have to be detached from person's weakness, which means their weaknesses are not influencing me. I am looking at them, but their weakness is not influencing, it's not creating upheaval, it's not creating any kind of base thoughts within. I am completely okay. I'm completely stable. That's detached. I don't detach myself from the person. I don't detach myself from the place. A lot of us, when we get very tired, we think of detaching ourselves from the person and the place. And Baba says that's not detachment, that's withdrawing, kinara karna, and which Baba is not allowing us to do. So a joyful soul, a very elevated soul, will not get influenced by others' weaknesses, but will be very, very loving. And that true love, unconditional love, pure love allows the other person to transform. And that's again a very, very essential practice for you to be joyful the whole day. And I feel, personally, that even if people are a little rude or a little judgmental about us or a little critical about us, it's okay. We're not perfect. If it's ego, it hurts. We have to always remember this. If it's ego, it hurts. So when somebody says something about me and I experience hurt, from joy, I shift to feeling hurt, then I am in the awareness that maybe I've already become perfect. I don't understand that I am work in progress. I am not perfect. And there is a possibility that one of my acquired sanskar, my old sanskar, originally I am very, very pure, but maybe I have this acquired sanskar of irritation or comparison, or could be anything. Now, that old sanskar is giving me so much sorrow. Me also. If I have an old sanskar of comparison or anger or anything, the sanskar of being sensitive, feeling hurt very easily. Now my old sanskar is giving me so much sorrow that I have stepped on this I've stepped on this journey to transform that. But don't you think, if that sanskar is giving me sorrow, it is a possibility that when that sanskar emerges, it will also give sorrow to the other person. And then if it gives sorrow to another person, and because they're a little weak and they become a little critical or judgmental about me and they say something about me to somebody else, what is such a big deal? You know, it's okay. It's absolutely okay. When we become perfect, then people will be completely content with us. But till we are work in progress, we still have that acquired sanskars, somebody at some point may take some sorrow from us, and they may be a little critical, and I think it's absolutely fine. It's nothing to take it very personally, because you know that they are being critical of not the original you, but of the acquired you. It's something very subtle, but if you practice this detachment, it is very freeing, it's very liberating. That it's not that they don't like you. The real you, the original you, is very beautiful, and everybody is going to like that, and everybody is going to be content with that. But the acquired self on this journey, whatever I am acquired, they just don't like the acquired self. I don't like my acquired self. Baba doesn't like it, and we're all on that journey to change that. But till we do it, it's fine. This whole the need to always look for approval and wanting people to always like you, I think is a sign of very low self-respect. Anybody who has a very high self-respect will know who am I, and will always come back to this awareness of who am I, and is not really affected and influenced a lot by what people are saying around me. Of course, it is very important to take this certificate of contentment from the family. That's our goal. We really want people to be content, and we are on that journey. But the moment I become content with myself, so many people will automatically become content. But to feel disheartened, or to feel guilty, or to not like yourself just because somebody said something, I think we have to let go. We have to let go. And that's another practice which really helps in staying joyful through the day. Let go. If somebody said something, come into the awareness that they are also not perfect. They were not in a soul conscious stage that time. They said something. It is okay. Just put a full stop. Baba in one of the Murlis said that the speciality of the eight jewels, because at the end of the day, it's that eight which become completely victorious. And Baba said the speciality of that eight souls is that they are able to put a full stop in 1 second. In 1 second. Am I able to put full stop in 1 second? Or it's constantly thinking negative. Why did they say that? And why did they say that? Just put a full stop, just let go. I remember Gulzar Dadi saying once that, why don't we remember what God tells us? It's about, somebody went to Dadi and said, Dadi, this person said this about me, and this about me, and this about me, and I am so hurt. And Dadi said, this person said so many things about you, but in today's Murli, Baba also said so many things about you. Why don't you remember what uh, Baba told you, and how Baba looks at you? And that's what should be in our awareness, because what's in our awareness will become our stage. Jaisi Smriti, Jaisi Sthiti. What's in our awareness will become our stage, and what our stage will reflect in our actions, and what gets reflected in our actions will become our destiny. So we can't have an ordinary awareness. Even though we are not perfect, our awareness always has to be very, very elevated. We have to always think of what we want to become, not what we are. No, what we have to become. And that's how Baba also sees us, not how we are, but what he wants to make us. And that is why Baba says to spin, um, the five forms, that cycle. And Baba says to always be in the awareness of my perfect form. I am an angel. I am a deity. I'm a Brahmin soul. I'm a pure, perfect, eternal soul. I'm a worship-worthy soul. To be in that awareness, because that awareness will then reflect in your stage, in your actions, and will create a very, very beautiful destiny. So let go. Anything that happens in the day, somebody said something to you, you said something, you were not in an awareness and said something to someone, apologize, put a full stop. Don't let ego come in there. Tell yourself, I value these relationships. Baba in one Murli said that when you bow down in front of the people you love, apno ke samne jhukna, when you bow down in front of people you really belong to, are your family. Baba said it's not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of greatness. You have to keep your intellect free from waste. There should be nothing that's creating waste for me, and there should be nothing that creates waste for another person. So if I feel that my some action or my some words may have created some sorrow for the other person, just apologize. Prakash Mani Dadi would say that when I say sorry, my sari doesn't get dirty. That's what she would say. Sorry कहने से मेरी साड़ी मैली नहीं होती है. But if it becomes instrumental in putting a full stop for them, they are able to kind of they're thinking so much negative, and just by apologizing, they are at ease. Then I am just contributing in helping them to have good yoga with Baba. And I am also allowing myself to let go and have that good, powerful yoga with Baba. Because for a Brahmin soul, I feel the most important thing is to have that good yoga with Baba. And if I'm holding on to anything, whether it's weakness of somebody, whether somebody said something to me, anything, if I'm holding on to and I'm not letting go, I will not be able to have good, powerful yoga. And if I don't experience those attainments from Baba, then there are high chances that I will get attracted to something in the world because I'm empty. If I'm empty, something, it could be persons, it could be something would attract me and take me away from this path. So I have to be full all the time. And to be full all the time, it's that's one Baba. That's the shortcut in life. That one Baba has to fill me with all attainments. And then it's about just radiating and giving and sharing with the whole world. So these are a couple of things. And Rakhi Ben told me to finish by 6:10. So now it's almost time, and if you have some questions or want to share or have a comment, we can do that for another 10 minutes. Are you there?
Yes, sister.
Yes.
You're mute, brother.
Yes. So one of the points that I really liked towards the end when you said, Shreya Ben, about that people, whatever concerns they have with us is with the acquired soul, not the pure soul that we are. The kind of sanskars that we acquire over a period of time with experiences that we've had. And when we come from moving from body consciousness to soul consciousness, that's when a real self starts showing up. And that is what then can start making difference to others as well. So I really like this point, sister. Thank you. Yes, anyone else? You can take your time to ask any questions that you would like to ask Shreya Ben, or you'd like to share any of your experiences, what you got from this session so far.
This is a very powerful practice which you were sharing that you picked up. I was in a conversation another day with a very senior Indian businesswoman. She is the past president of Bombay Stock Exchange, and she was sharing her experience. She's been in Gyan for a while, just on and off. But she says that she's been instrumental in bringing a lot of change at the level of policies. And people don't like change. If you see, people are not very comfortable with change. So every time a change comes in, people are a little, not very comfortable with it, and they will reject you. And she said that I use this as my mantra all the time, that people are not criticizing me, they are just criticizing the policy. Because if she said, if I didn't remember that all the time, that they're not, every time they're rejecting and they're criticizing and they're being judgmental, I know that it's not personally about me, but it's the policy, it's that policy change which they're not comfortable with. And she said, because I could separate myself all the time, I was fine. And because I was fine and I was joyful and I was comfortable and I was content, then I could sit in meeting of 50 people who were rejecting and could try to, kind of tell them and explain them why we need this policy change and the reasons and satisfy them. But she said, if I hadn't done this practice and I had taken it personally, that they're criticizing me and being judgmental about me, she said, I would have lost it. I would have completely become depleted and I wouldn't have the power to kind of convince them or inspire them or influence them for that change. So even if you want to contribute in the world, if you don't take care of yourself, if you're not aware of who I am, and if you don't separate your true self from your acquired self and from your acquired labels, these are three things. I, the true soul, which is joyful, loving, those seven virtues that Baba talks about. Then the acquired sanskars, which is a long list of anger, jealousy, and it's a long list. And then the acquired labels, the label of position, the label of profession, the label of religion, nationality. And people at any time can criticize any of the labels that you have, and even the label of BK. And I remember Janki Dadi in one of the classes, long time back, she said, sometimes Dadi says these very beautiful things. And she came and she sat in a class and she said, I am not a BK. And everybody looked at her and she said, I'm not a BK, because that's also a role. And so many of us, if somebody says something about the institution, we feel hurt. If somebody, but they have had an experience. They might have had an experience when they must have gone to a center, something might have happened. Benefit of doubt goes to them. But if somebody says something about the organization or the institution or a particular sister, I feel hurt because I'm not able to separate myself, that I am this pure being of light. And even BK is a role that I have adopted. And some people will be comfortable with this role, and some people may not be very comfortable with this role. And some people may go to an extent of criticizing this role. It's okay. It's a personal choice that I have made. So, this separation from the true being to the acquired self, to the acquired labels, to the acquired role, that separation allows you to be really joyful at all times.
Yeah,
Shreya
Shreya,
Ben,
the takeaway from today's session is the same. The point where you mentioned separating the action from the actor is the place to stand, to be joyful with what's happening around. Another point that you mentioned is when you bow down, it's not the sign of weakness, but it's the sign of greatness. So these are two practical points which are going to take away from me from today's session.
Jagdish Bhai, would you like to say, ask anything? You raised your hand.
Yes, sister. Om Shanti. जैसे Shreya Didi has said that it is important that whatever you are doing, you must be joyful. You have to check that you are enjoying what you are doing, or you are doing it for enjoyment. So my problem is I feel very good after Murli until I start my office work. When I start my office work, then because it is about my, it is wholly engaged into this work, so I do not have that feeling of enjoyment because I'm disconnected from soul consciousness. So how can I be joyful while engaged thoroughly in the work and also being at the same time enjoyment or joyful?
That is the practice that we have to do, brother, because it's very beautiful that we have realized this also, that I am very joyful when I'm listening to Murli and I feel very comfortable. And one of the reasons why we are very, very joyful when we're listening to Murli is because every line that we're listening and we're thinking in our mind, so we're in a very elevated consciousness. So when we're talking about this joy, which is not dependent on anything, then what it is? It is state of mind. This joy which we are talking, one is which is dependent on something. So I achieve something or I acquire something and I feel good. And we're talking about feeling good no matter what. Feeling good even if you're in the middle of a challenge. Forget the work. We could be dealing with a very severe illness. We could be, just found out that I've lost my job, or I have anything. We could be in between crisis, and Baba still expects us to be stable and happy. And he would say, "This too shall pass." But were you in an elevated stage, which is very important? Any scene that will come will pass, but it's important that experience of the journey, because what will happen lately also I am meeting a lot of people who went through very difficult experiences during COVID. So this one experience I would like to share. This brother is working in an IT company, and he went through a very difficult COVID period. He was in ICU for about 22 days. He has recovered. He has recovered physically, but not emotionally, because for 22 days when he was in ICU, he kept hearing that what he shared was that beep of the machines all around him. When you're in ICU, there's so many machines attached to your body and they go like beep, beep. And he said that for 22 days, I was surrounded with those machines, no other voice. I couldn't talk to anybody. That was the only sound, and the sound of my mind, where I was, whether I'll be able to go back, whether I'll be able to meet my family, what will happen, what if I leave my body. So he had created so much suffering in those 22 days that now he's fully recovered, but he's still in a lot of suffering. He's still not able to sleep, he's not able to produce very well at workplace. So the point that I'm trying to make is, it's not about just passing the situation, because that will anyways pass. Anything that comes will go. Anything. This too shall pass. Like Baba says, baat aayi hai, baat chali jayenge. Anything. It's very important that experience. Because if the experience was painful, then you will always be fearful. And you will always fear that you might get another illness, you will fear hospital, anything. So it's very important that when we are going through a situation or a challenge or a crisis, that journey, that period has to be in Baba's remembrance, with Baba's Srimad, with uh, you know in a very, very stable state of mind, that experience allows us to grow and doesn't deplete us. And now when you're talking about workplace, it's a state of mind. So just one thought, that this is the work that I have to do, and Baba has allowed and given the permission to work for 8 hours, because you need to earn for this body and we have responsibilities for the family. But let me do it with complete joy. Let me respect the people I work with. This is a practice. It will not happen magically or naturally, because for when we've been in body consciousness, it's about doing something and feeling good. And now it's like every hour you have to give this reminder to yourself that I have to feel good and do this. And over a period of time, it will become natural. So it's just a practice. I don't think there's anything else. It's just reminding yourself again and again that I have to do it with joy. I want to do it with joy, and not like drag your feet. So it's just about having this choice, whether to drag your feet in this journey of life, or whether to do everything with joy. It's just state of mind, what you're thinking, what you're feeling within, and that gets reflected in your work.
And if anything has to be done, Shreya, if it is a responsibility which has to be fulfilled, in which you have no choice, might as well do it with joy.
Yeah, not feel like a victim, because I am sure all of us we have some things that we really like doing, and there might be, you might be really love cooking, but you may not like to do accounts that much, or you may really like giving a class, but may not like cleaning that much. But Baba values each role. That's the beauty. That's the beauty. And the marks in our education is not for the role that we are playing, but about how we play the role. It's really not about the role. And we have read so many Murlis just a couple of weeks ago where Baba said anybody who is even cleaning the utensils but is doing in an elevated stage can take a lot more marks than somebody who's on the stage and is giving a sermon or a session. So it's really not about what role we are playing. Absolutely not. It's about how we are playing the role. It's not about the part, because a lot of part, it's It's just in the drama. The roles that we are playing is pretty much in the drama. Each one has a particular role. Somebody some role, somebody some role. It's about how we play that. That's, I personally think it's very important.
Shreya, there's one question. What to do when, despite a full stop, situations haunt us?
Even after we put a full stop, situation haunts us, or it's the experience that haunts us? I haven't understood the question properly. What is that's haunting them? Because if the situation is already over, I think maybe it's the experience that's haunting them. And that's what I was sharing, that the situation will go, but if you didn't cross it with stability, it will haunt you. It will haunt you. And that is why it is so important that no matter, and that is why, to understand Gyan is very important. For example, the other day Baba was sharing in the Murli, just 2 days back, Baba said that if you are severely ill, if you're dealing with a chronic illness, Baba said, feel the gratitude that you're going to settle the karmic account now, then, being punished by Dharamraj. He was saying, Dande to nahi khane padenge na. So you come into that consciousness that it's okay. At least I am aware and I have God's support. I'm in the canopy of God's love, and this will also pass. In one of the Murlis, Baba said, okay, anytime there is uh, an illness, he said something like, isko bhogna nahi samjho, isko seva ki yojana samjho. So what I'm trying to say is that you have to use Murli, you have to use Gyan to come in that elevated consciousness. It's a state of mind, but you have to use those powerful lines to come in that consciousness, and then the situation will not overpower you and it will not haunt you also. But if you've already gone through a difficult experience where you were not in a very elevated consciousness, I think it's okay. None of us can change the past, but we can learn from it. Past really allows us to become a better person. We can either become wounded or we can either become wise. We can either become bitter or we can become better. It's our choice. So whatever is the past, and this is something that Janki said and has always stayed with me, that he said, you're not able to let go of past or put a full stop to the past because you have not learned from that situation. If you learn from that situation, if you sit in silence, even though you may have made a mistake, even though you didn't cross the situation you should have, but still, if you sit in silence and learn from the situation, and the moment you realize that that scene had come to teach me this, either it could be humility, it could be compassion, it could be self-respect, it could be tolerance, it could be accommodation, whatever. It's different for different soul. But the moment you have learned the lesson, that is that situation or that past will not haunt you anymore, and you will be able to put a full stop.
Om Shanti Behan. You've answered my question partially. I wanted to first thank you for this valuable topic that has been chosen by Dinesh Bhai and Rafiben. What I wish your help and guidance on is...
So your voice is not very clear. There's some disturbance.
What I seek your guidance and help on is, when we are sitting in soul consciousness alone, our connection with Baba is excellent. We are in a good samriti and sthiti. The challenges come when we are in relationships. A particular situation or a conversation in a relationship that happens at your workplace or even in your Lokik family. Situations come. Jaise Baba says, paper to hona hi hai. We try and imbibe the teachings of Baba and surrender the situation, etc. to him and do samarpan. Yet, despite maybe the samarpan is not complete, I'm trying to analyze, or my level of attachment to that soul
I could hear the last part.
is giving me grief and pain. So help me provide a simple yukti of how to address this, Ben. Om Shanti.
Rameshbhai, I couldn't hear the last part. If you could hear and could just repeat it for me, I
Yeah.
could hear it till that she surrenders us
Oh,
to Baba. And I don't know what she said after that.
yeah. Sister, if you can repeat, because your voice was echoing, we couldn't get it.
Ji. I have surrendered it to Baba, but I've been trying to analyze it in silence. When the situation or the conversation comes haunting back in very, very subtle ways in your daily life, it doesn't occur 24/7. But when it comes back, it draws your attention very strongly. And yet I feel, is it the element of attachment? Or is the samarpan or the surrendering not good enough? Or what should I work on? Is there a yukti? How can I work on myself to completely put a full stop and move forward?
Yes.
Om Shanti.
All of us make such genuine efforts that we want to see the results, but sometimes we want to see the results very quickly. And I feel that we need to enjoy the every step on the journey. So, when you said that when I sit in silence with Baba and I'm soul conscious, I do have beautiful experiences, but it's the problem in the relationship that I feel it's in the relationship that we understand how soul conscious we are. All of us, when we just sit in silence with Baba, what is the problem? It's beautiful, it's wonderful. But it's when we come on that workplace and we're with people, that's the clear reflection, because that's when we need to tolerate and accommodate and detach and become loving and cooperate. It's when we're with the people. And that is why Baba has put this another subject of seva and another certificate of taking the certificate of contentment from the family, because when we sit in silence, we think we're perfect. But it's only when we come in contact with people or in contact of service, that's that's when our true self, our sanskars are being reflected. But I think it's completely okay if we make a mistake. Why are we so scared of making a mistake or falling down or crying? It's a journey. So all this will happen. But again, Baba is not going to say that it's okay, because Baba, as a perfect teacher, will always set the perfect standard. So Baba will never say, okay, even if you get 60, it is okay. Baba will always say it has to be 100. You have to be number one. You have to be like Baba. And that is the aim. That is the aim. The aim is to become perfect. But at the same time, you have to understand that it's a journey of peak and valley. And all of us, have this peak where we have this beautiful stage. Drama is our way, people are our way, everything wonderful. But then there are days when we get into the valley where a relationship is not okay, or I understand at a level of intellect, but I'm not able to perform that way. So many times we know something, but our feelings are all over the place. We know I shouldn't say this or I shouldn't think this, but because that sanskar has not become natural, so still I'm under the influence of the old sanskar, and all this will happen. And I think it's okay as long as we're not sliding backward and increasing little bit also every single day. It's just like, when the child starts to walk, it first starts to crawl, then take few steps, then fall couple of times, then, walk a little bit more. And then a day comes when he can run and cycle and everything. And that's what it is for us. So we have to be very, very patient and compassionate towards ourselves. I remember Dadi Janki saying in one of the classes that you need only three things in the journey. And she said, first, being patient with yourself. And she said, second, patience. And the third, more patience. That's what she said, because it's a really long journey. And if you're not patient with yourself, and if you're not compassionate towards yourself, the Brahma Baba, the most accurate soul, and I don't say this that it makes us lazy. I just say this that we're able to accept the journey. That even Brahma Baba, who is a number one soul, was the most accurate soul, also took 33 years to become complete. So it takes a certain amount of time where those sanskars become natural. Till then, even Baba says that sometimes it's a conflict, sometimes it's a war, sometimes you have to work on yourself, sit in silence, put a full stop, surrender to Baba, do it again. And when we practice a particular sanskar many times, it's only then it becomes a natural. And I feel really, truly, that if you're not compassionate with yourself, you will never be compassionate with other people. If you make a mistake and you're not able to put a full stop and you are not able to say that it's okay, at least I tried, at least I made this effort, at least I've stepped on to the highest journey, I'm going to give myself a second chance. If you don't say this to yourself, if you're not compassionate with yourself, you will never be able to be compassionate to other people. And then when they will make a mistake for the second time, you will be very quick in judging them and rejecting them and criticizing them. So it's the kind of relationship I have with myself is the kind of relationship I have with other people. So I feel that as long as we are being sincere, we're honest, we're practicing the disciplines, and we're very, very honest with Baba, we tell Baba everything honestly, I think his blessings and the blessings of seniors and our genuine effort will help us transform faster and will reach the stage of perfection. But till then, just enjoy the journey. Enjoy the journey. It's always about, if we think of how far we have to go, there's a long way to go. But sometimes you also have to remind yourself that where we started and how far we have come. When we started, that very day when we started the journey, and how far we have come, and you need to sometime kind of just appreciate yourself for that. It just gives you the enthusiasm to go on, continue the journey further.
Shreya, one of the learnings that what I'm getting reminded in this moment was when you get into chinta and how chintan helps us to take care of the chinta. This is what I'm saying, that when we get into the journey of soul consciousness is when everything which is related to body consciousness starts showing up. Means it needs to be dealt with, it needs to be eliminated. And as you get close to Baba, as you surrender yourself, you can see then you don't have to do. The moment you feel that you have to do something, it's again body consciousness. So see it as your karmic account to be settled. Give it over to Baba and said, okay, I am there. For one step is mine, 1,000 are yours. You take care of it.
True.
Yeah.
True.
There's
It's not about getting scared of what you see in yourself. It's just being courageous enough to see what needs to be changed and just then go on with the work of transforming that.
Puneet Bhai is asking, can you share what is the difference between awareness and attention, and when and how to use it to remain joyful always?
It's pretty much the same thing. When you say you are in awareness, it's the Hindi word for awareness is smriti. Baba uses this word a lot more, that smriti, jaisi smriti vaisi sthiti. And that's pretty much, being, attention is quite similar to awareness, is what I feel. When you are aware of, now what you're saying is how to be aware. Again, it's a practice. There's no magic formula. So you can use various ways. So if somebody is working on a computer, they could have a reminder every hour, which just on the screen, it could be just one line which reminds you that I am a joyful soul and I have to do everything with joy. And just a little reminder will bring that shift in your consciousness, and you will see the shift in the action. And I think this is a practice that we all have to do. So you need reminders. For some time, it's just like if you're not used to getting up at 4, you use an alarm clock for like a month or 2 months, which allows you or supports you or helps you to get up at 4 till your body get used to getting up at 4, and then you don't need the alarm clock. Then just automatically so many people will say, automatically at 6 o'clock or 4 o'clock, whatever their time is, they're able to get up. But for some time, till your body get used to it, you need some support, you need some sort of reminder. And similarly, we are used to being, when Baba says in a lot of Murlis that children, you're neither body conscious, you're neither soul conscious, but you're action conscious. I don't know if you remember those Murli where Baba says कि आप बॉडी कॉन्शियस नहीं है लेकिन कर्म कॉन्शियस है, कर्म का भान है. And that's the sanskar of apakalpa, where we're always about doing. To an extent, sometimes that we take that 3 minute out for traffic control. I don't know, it happens with me a lot. I don't know about you. So in that 3 minute, I have gotten used to stopping. So I'm not doing anything. And if I was doing something, we'll stop, we'll sit. But my mind is still contemplating, then when this 3 minutes will get over, I have to do this, and I have to do this, and I have to do this. And I have to make that conscious effort that this 3 minutes is not about thinking about what I have to do, but it's about how I have to be. And I have to detach myself from everything and have to remind myself how I have to be and not what I have to do. But it's a very deep habit where our mind starts to think about doing and not about being. So it's a practice, and then it will just become natural, where when that 1 minute song plays, or the 3 minute, those constant uh, uh, gaps that we take, which Baba was saying in last Murli, that link has to be there for the Shaktishali Yad, for that powerful remembrance. And that 1 minute is always about, who am I? Who am I? Tadi Janki kept saying, who am I? What is my purpose? So who am I? I am a joyful soul, and my purpose is to do everything with joy. That's it. That's all the purpose of the life is. There's nothing else. So anything that I do it with joy, and whatever role I play, whether it's mother, whether it's boss, whether it's daughter-in-law, I do it with joy. But like I said, the one word is, for some time, you need some support system. So you could connect it while you drink water, you remind yourself, you have it on your screen every hour, you have it as a reminder on your phone, anything. You keep connecting it with small things in your daily schedule till it becomes a natural sanskar.
Shreya, Harpreet's sister wants to ask a question. Harpreet, would you like to unmute yourself and ask? We'll complete it in 5 minutes, Shreya.
No problem.
Om Shanti, sister, very nicely explained. Thank you very much. I had one question. In this joyful soul, very nicely you said the last sentence. It is, how are you? Are you a joyful soul in whatever you're doing? My question is, when you are relating yourself in different action points in relationships at work and at home, and when you know that the other pure soul, for whatever weaknesses, is not performing at the same level in terms of purity, so what I've tried to do is I just try to send healing through Baba's grace, try to visualize that light is going over them, and sometimes you see a shift. My question is actually that at times you see it, at times you don't. When do you realize that now you should stop wasting your time, giving energy and spending time through Baba, trying to heal all of them? Like, is there a way that you know that now it's okay, it's not going to happen, or you just continue forever?
That's your role. You continue forever. That's what
Okay.
you are. You're a world transformer. And a lot of Mansa Seva is done unconditionally. Seva is never done with an expectation. See, we know, somewhere deep down, we know that anything that we do will bring the result. Baba has told us that if you are sending light and might to people, you will see a shift. But I don't think we should do it with that intention. We shouldn't do it with an intention to see the shift in people, because sometimes it takes a long time, because it could be a deep sanskar, or it could be a very deep karmic account. It could be a karmic account of many, many births, and it may take some time for the soul to heal. But why am I doing it for the other person? When I am sending light and might, who is the first person to receive? When I am thinking right about another person, why am I doing it? I'm not doing a favor to somebody else. If I don't think right about them, then I will think wrong about them. I'm choosing to think right about them, because in that way, I am feeling good. When we live with people, we're going to think about people. When we work with people, there'll be times when we'll think about people. So we have a choice whether to trust them, whether to doubt them, whether to think positively about them, whether to think negatively about them, whether to be critical about them, or whether to be appreciative about them, whether to be compassionate towards them, or whether to have bitterness in our hearts for them. It's a choice that I'm making for myself, not for them. Because when I do something for other people, I get tired. I get tired because when I don't see the result, I feel I'm wasting my time. But when I do something which is making me feel good, I want to, just then I want to make it my sanskar. So sending light and might to people is not like work. It has to be very, very natural. Of course, there are times when we take out separate time in a day and think well about them. But actually, if you're in an elevated consciousness and if you're thinking right, you are doing Mansa Seva all the time. It's just, for us to understand better, we see all these pictures where the light is falling from Shiv Baba on us and the light is falling on the soul. Actually, it's not very literal. It's not like literal in this sense. It's more like if you are thinking right for that person, then naturally the vibration is radiating from you to that person. And how will you visualize vibration? So you see that light. That's how else will you depict vibration? If you remember when we used to make sun when we were in school. So how would we show sun rays? So it would be one big line and a small line and a big line and a small line, but that's not how sun, sun is basically just radiating light and might. But because we had to visualize, we used this kind of a photo. So similarly, a lot of times when I see people doing or sending light and might to people, they are kind of visualizing light coming from Baba, light going to them. It's not really like that. It's more like the vibration. So if you're thinking right for them all the time, and we have to think right about people, that's our role. And Baba says, in a lot of Murlis, Baba says that even if the soul has 99% weakness, 99, you see that one quality and keep that quality in your consciousness, and you only see them through that lens, because that's going to benefit you, not them. And that's how God sees us. He says that even if that soul I know is number wise, I know they have this weakness, I know they're weak in their remembrance, I know they're weak in knowledge, but and then Baba says, but they recognized me. They recognize. So I love them and I adore them, and they're special and they're unique because they recognized God. And if Baba loves somebody, how can I not love someone? If Baba can see their speciality, why can't I see their speciality? So I have to make an effort to see their speciality, always see them through the lens of their speciality, and don't count days. It's not a wastage of time. Remember this law, this very beautiful law, the spiritual law, that whatever you give, you are the first one to receive. This very beautiful laws, आगे बढ़ाने में हम आगे बढ़ते हैं, अच्छा सोचने से हमारी सोच शक्तिशाली बनती है. Anything that you are doing is going to only increase. It's not going to decrease. It's not going to deplete you. But if you're feeling tired, and you're feeling that you're wasting your time, probably you're not doing it right. Yeah.
Thank you, sister.
Wonderful. Shreya, would you like to take up the meditation now, please?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Puneet, can you play the music, please?
Sit comfortably. Relax your body. And let go of any tension that you're holding. And come into the awareness that I am originally joyful being, pure being. I take all my attainments for one Baba. And then my role is to radiate it to the world. On the screen of your mind, see yourself performing your task. ordinary task like walking, not with speed, in rhythm, in Baba's remembrance, holding his hand, having a beautiful conversation with Baba, not getting disturbed by traffic, by other people, by the noises around you. You're in a complete state of harmony. You're so full that nothing can influence you. See yourself cleaning the house, cooking, and enjoy these ordinary tasks. Doing it in Baba's remembrance. Seeing that time as time of tapasya. Hands are doing the task, but the mind is having a beautiful conversation with the beloved. I am working. At the same time, I get to experience God's love, and then I don't feel tired. I'm able to accomplish so much. I'm able to work for many, many hours. I don't feel tired. As if I'm under the canopy of God's love. And His love has nourished me. Now in this moment, completely detach yourself from everything. And in a second, 1 second, go to Paramdham. See Baba as a point of light. Just sit with Him. Allow Baba to love you. Don't hold on. You're worthy of His love. You're special, unique, rare jewel, crown prince and princess of the coming world. I'm not ordinary. I'm a rare jewel. Baba loves me. Just sit with Baba and allow Baba to love you with pure, unconditional, eternal love. It is waves of love. Heal me, nourish my every core, permeating to every cell of my body. full, overflowing with His love. I don't see anybody's faults. And the heart is filled with God's love. I am gentle towards others' weaknesses. I don't reject them or judge them. There's only compassion in my heart. Everyone is on a journey. I have no idea what people have gone through. I don't know their story. Let my heart only radiate love for them. Be kind. I have to heal the world, and that is my purpose. And in this precious moment, I thank Baba for choosing me for His mighty task, considering me worthy. Share His love with the world. Thank you, Baba. Om Shanti.
मेरी जिंदगी सवारी मुझको गले लगा के बैठा दिया फलक पे मुझे खाक से उठा के मेरी जिंदगी सवारी मुझको गले लगा के बैठा दिया फलक पे मुझे खाक से उठा के यारा तेरी यारी को मैंने तो खुदा माना याद करे